welcome back to another episode of FCM. You already know what time it is. Like, share, subscribe. Of course, it's me, the host of most, Myra Quadri. To my left, the cult hero himself, the one and only Culture Cams, otherwise known as the defender of Sheffield Wednesday, otherwise known as the people's champion, of course. On, to my right, the podcasting Pepe himself, the man, the myth, the waviest one, Fuad Kadani. How we doing, gents? We good?
Yeah,
another week.
I can't lie, people. It's cold in here today, so
we're cold cams,
yeah,
cold,
bro.
cold
This
Palmer,
ain't no
cold
Palmer thing. I'm genuinely cold. I'm genuinely cold right now, so I'm keeping it on.
International week, and of course, international week can always be an interesting time. And we thought we'll be doing you, our community, the FCM community, a disservice if we just went on a England tirade after the game. So we thought we're going to switch up a few different topics. We're bringing back tweet of the week. We've got a few things that we want to discuss, but I guess we have to speak about England a little bit, right? It's only right. This nation, this great nation. You know? There's obviously been discussions that Lee Carsley doesn't want to take this job. And for me, the England job and the United job have always been very similar, like described as poison chalices, you know, situations where
Spurs job.
You've got to be very, boy, listen, you got to be very like determined that you want to make that your job.
Yeah.
And obviously, you play Football Manager. You see many managers in your time. From the both of you, or we can have a general conversation, with where England are at the moment, being perennial sort of second place, golden generation coming through, sniffed in around but not really been able to get there, a nation that's expecting greatness, quote unquote, best league in the world, who would be the right manager to take England where they need to be? Because I think there's different thoughts on this. Some people would automatically say Lee Carsley, who plays the football, knows the youth. Others would say we need a tournament manager. Others would say, why don't we look at what other nations have done? I'm actually really intrigued to think who to ask, actually.
I mean, there was talks just the other day where Thomas Tuchel potentially could be in line for that. And you talk about cup managers, who better than Tuchel? But he is not the person who I personally would pick. I'd go with Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe has kind of built his name and reputation with Bournemouth, showing that he can build a club up. His player development at Newcastle, I think, has been fantastic, where I think it's a job that people thought he was maybe going to get tons of money to play with, but you've seen over the past 2 years it hasn't been the case. I feel like both clubs, he's hit good ceilings. He's shown good tactical ability to be flexible, both defensively and going forward. And I think England kind of, you've tried a variety of managers. I feel like this, with Eddie Howe, as you said, you've got a young crop of players there that you know are going to be there for the next 6-7 years. You need a manager that's going to be able to grow with that. Similar like what Southgate did for the past 6 to 8 years. Now you want the next manager to be able to do that as well. I think Carsley, it might be too soon. I think the last game maybe showed a little bit of naivety, in my opinion, tactically, that maybe he's not ready for this. You need someone who's ready now. And I think Eddie Howe, he's been under the pressures at Newcastle. He's been under pressure of the Premier League as well. I think international management, some would say maybe he's too young, would he take the job? But I think the England national team job is one of those jobs you never turn down.
Yeah, I do you know what it is. Yeah, I think with the Graham, not Graham Potter. That's who I would take, but I'll get into that. I think Lee Carsley, I wanted him to get the job. Now, if he doesn't want to do it, I'm not gonna sit here and fight him. If he doesn't want to do it, he wants to do it on 21s. Maybe that's what he finds. I do think there's a massive overreaction to his decision on the weekend because, I mean, Kane wasn't there. I get it. He should have probably played a number 9. It's
the first time.
But it's the first time, England history I haven't done it. But listen, I think he was just trying something. It was a little experiment. It didn't work. But the thing is, though, you want to see him. You want an England manager that's going to try and prioritize the best players. You know what I mean, or the best football players. And sometimes maybe some people say you don't want to put all of them in at one time, which I understand. He experimented. It didn't work. The first 2 games, it was good. Grealish played in the 10, etc. And everyone was like, oh, this is where these guys should be playing. This is nice. It goes wrong one game. This is why he shouldn't be the England manager. So I just thought it was a little bit of a exaggeration. But listen, he didn't want the job. Fair enough. For me, I can hear Eddie Howe. Thomas Tuchel is a better manager than Howe. He's a better manager than Graham Potter. 100%. But I just wonder why England always want to go down the foreign route. Yeah. And listen, I'm not gonna say. Honestly though, yeah, it sounds like patriotic or whatever, but it's the reality though. Like England always Sven-Göran Eriksson, Capello, thing. You always want to get this. They always want to go for this world-renowned named manager,
sexy foreign manager.
Other nations don't do this. It's always England that want to go off and do that. So I'm like, and then it'll be England who will sit there and say, why don't we have an English manager that's never won the Premier League? Why do we not have an English manager that's ever, you know what I mean, that's been super successful? I mean, but when you have the England job, you're giving it to Sven, you're giving it to Capello, you want to give it to Thomas Tuchel. Now, if Tuchel comes in, of course, I'm going to support him and stuff. I think he's a great manager. But I do think it should you should prioritize the nation of where you're from. If you're Brazilian, look for a Brazilian. If you're Italian, look for an Italian. It's not just, England, Britannia. And I'm not saying it like that. But so I think Graham Potter, I would give it to him. I think he's got that international experience in terms of he's worked abroad. He's studied abroad. So has Eddie Howe as well, to be honest. They've studied abroad. And the way he plays football, he's got that kind of calming demeanor as well. You see, like, I didn't think he was the personality for a top club team where every single week they're asking you questions, they're demanding pressure. But I think England, you see each other every 2-3 months. He's got that kind of demeanor, kind of what Gareth Southgate had. But I fancy him more as a manager. You know what I mean? I fancy him more as I've seen him do with Brighton. Obviously, he didn't get much chance with Chelsea. But I just look at him as a person, and I look at him stylistically, and I think it could suit this crop of players coming up for England because it's important.
That's my only kind of withdrawal with Graham Potter. And I do agree. I think the fact that England do have almost Graham Potter and Eddie Howe, you should be looking at these types of managers rather than looking for him. But I think the withdrawal I have with Graham Potter is the fact that he went to Chelsea and it almost seemed like he walked in there, big-eyed and the job seemed too big for him. And I remember in the press conference, you were actually saying, you don't feel like he's kind of owning the room. And I think how the England job and how the England media could potentially eat him up. And I'm like, I just feel like Eddie Howe's a bit more poised. He's a bit more seasoned as well and kind of has been through the ringer a little bit more.
Made that jump?
Now, Eddie Howe maybe hasn't made that jump with Newcastle, but I think that has been a club thing holding him back in terms of the finances. Kind of this summer, you look at how they've spent. I don't think that's
I don't mean as
putting Eddie Howe in a position to succeed and push further. I think he's kind of almost maxed out with what he's doing.
No, I don't mean. I don't mean
tactically.
No. I mean the club. He hasn't made the jump that Graham Potter did to Chelsea. Newcastle's not a pressure pot like the top four.
You could say that.
We don't
know
if he's
but then that's where I feel like he almost, if he takes this jump, that's where we see it. And I would be more ready to. I think Eddie Howe is more kind of ready for this job than Graham Potter. I still think Graham Potter needs almost another job to kind of get that bit of credential.
I think both are interesting because what both of you are speaking to is one, the sort of like the right thing to do in terms of not going like international manager, but two, sort of longevity.
Because remember,
and I guess with England fans though, the difference, the conversations probably is, should we be looking at longevity if we know that we've been...
No, it's not longevity, but it's guys who can still make an impact now. Because historically, the reason why England have always gone for these foreign managers, because the English managers available, they didn't feel stylistically could do what some of them could do. And I feel like...
Not to interrupt, stylistically is one point, but I mean, Gareth Southgate's style got England to finals. So it's not a style thing. It's more sort of having that panache to get across the line.
But I do think the style factor does come into it, especially after seeing Southgate's football for the past couple of years. I do think England do want to move to a more attractive style, and they're wondering maybe if a foreign manager will do that. I think with the Potters, with the Eddie Howes, they're capable of doing that, and they've shown they can do that now. That's why I feel like you should go for them rather than... Because historically, what was it? Alan Kirbysh, Sam Allardyce, Pardews. And you're looking at those managers and you're like, there's a limitation on what they can do. These two, I still think they haven't reached their full managerial potential.
That's what I'm saying. I think with Potter, you don't want to be looking too much long term. I understand that. Like, you don't want to just, this manager's going to be the next manager for the next 10 years. That's England are getting a squad that can win now. Yep. You know what I mean? And even the young players that are coming through, they can contribute. So it's not like, they're just cute little youngsters like Theo Walcott time. You know, like when Walcott, you're gonna need a long time to get ready. But the guys that are coming through now, they look like they can get involved straight away.
You've got Champions League winners, you've got league winners, you've got people that are used to winning more stuff. So than the coaches that are potentially coming in.
Exactly, and that's the thing that's why I just think, right, like, I actually agree. I actually think mine would actually be part of Den Howe, right? It will be part of Den Howe. So I'm not really whatever. But the way I'm looking at these managers, I'm just thinking like, as you said, camps are not going to be. It's not a regular thing. It's not a regular thing. You just need a manager that can come in, understand, and I'm not even looking at it as in like, Graham Potter's now going to start doing diagram. England are going to start playing like Pep's Man City. I'm not even saying that. But just what you said, just that little bit more. How can you be a little bit more attractive? Or not even forget about attraction. How can you make teams respect you a little bit more? England never did that. England never did that. England had, go back to the final against Spain. Gave Spain all the respect. All of a sudden, had a 10-minute spell, scored, and said, hey, Spain have the ball back again. It's incredible. Like, I mean? But you just want a manager at that moment that can sniff that and be like, go, keep going. And I think that's Graham Potter's natural go-to. Whereas Thomas Tuchel, he's still methodical. And it could work, to be fair, in cups, but he's still methodical. If it goes left, you can imagine England fans very quickly being like, man, this is our goal. Like, look at the talent we have.
Back five with the wing backs.
Yeah. Do you get where I'm coming from? Is he going to come and do that? Is he gonna, we don't know. So for me, I just think just go with one of those two.
The point you make, though, makes me lean more towards Eddie Howe, because, again, we can only go off what we've seen both managers do. Graham Potter's, I don't think a manager should ever be solely judged on their time where things didn't go too great. But as we mentioned with the press conferences, the lack of sort of demeanour, even like the application of football, it wasn't.
I wouldn't say Eddie Howe is like the biggest character in the world.
No,
you know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is,
he's not. He hasn't been like cooked yet.
How many times have you seen Eddie rattled?
But was Graham rattled? He was just kind of like
deer in headlights.
Yeah, deer in headlights. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's the first Todd Bowley appointment. They were a mess.
No, of course.
Chelsea were yo, come on.
But what I'm saying, that was all his backroom staff.
Nah, they were a mess, bro.
The same team he worked with Brighton. It should have been
what I'm saying.
Transition.
What I'm saying towards the Eddie Howe situation, though, is even if you think about top 4 head-to-heads with Newcastle, you look at performances and you think, all right, you've managed to get your players having a bit of grit.
A couple of City results.
You look and you think, okay, if that's what you can do in this sort of scenario here, I can envisage that if you were to play like top international teams, you would be able to deploy something that has a bit of give, that has a bit of, core footballing principles that you want, but also we're not no little boys. There's no pushovers. And I think with Graham, because he's been so out of the limelight for so long, there's also that sense of unknown with him as well, and that's a bit worrying sometimes.
Yeah, but you don't know what manager you're gonna get. But the thing is, you never know. Like, you just look at, for example, like I know it worked for Italy with Mancini, who's kind of a big name in a way. He's in a big name. I know it didn't work. Well, they won the Euros, and they didn't qualify for the World Cup, so it was a bit of a up and down situation there. Yeah,
sometimes
exactly, but. Conte, it didn't really work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so when England are looking for like this big name manager, it's not necessarily the case. They just won with De La Fuente, Spain. Yeah. Joachim Low was their assistant, then became a manager for 15 years, and he won and he was successful.
Argentina manager's name. It's not
Scaloni. This is what I'm saying. So like, these are the type of characters and managers that you need at international level, in my opinion. So like, I don't always think it's down to like what they've done at club or. Obviously that matters what they done at club, but I don't think it necessarily matters about like how good they were or how. Do you guys want to get?
I think one of the characters you mentioned, even though that they're not the biggest names or personalities, maybe personalities wrong name, they're all able to captivate minds, and I think each of those national teams you mentioned were probably at different times. But as we said, we're talking about an England team that has Premier League winners, some of the best players in the world, Champions League winners. I think you have to really be able to capture that change room. For me, maybe I'm going solely because I saw what happened with Potter at Chelsea and I watched it closely.
I don't think it was. I don't
Potter, bro. Like
I think Potter or bust. No. I would take Eddie Howe as well. 100%. I'm just saying, like, I just think there's a. I'm surprised that they just went straight to Tuchel. Yeah. You know where I'm coming from. I'm very surprised at that, and the way I see it, right?
Are you surprised at it though? Or you understand the reasoning behind why you...
No, I'm surprised. I thought after the whole Southgate stuff, England were going to make it a priority to keep it English. I was surprised to see them decide, let's just go down the Capello situation. And listen, I'm not somebody that says just because one world-class manager flops, the other world-class manager will. But I just think... I don't know.
There is a small part of me, though, that is thinking it could also be Thomas Tuchel's team putting that out. Yeah. And then that's basically to put the pressure on
Man
your
United,
board to say, hey, get that Ten Hag guy out. I know you're having meetings in the next 48 hours.
Because it only came from German media, to be fair.
So you see what I'm saying? So it could be a thing where I think Tuchel's camp is also putting it out. I don't know how official it is from England.
But
it is almost like a typical England move to look for that type of manager. We know Tuchel loves being in England, and he's previously mentioned, I think he would take the England job as well. So
the most important thing, I think, right, for any manager that comes in is just they have to just make sure that there's no, like, I think Gareth Southgate kind of messed himself up with over-reliance on certain people, or even not over-reliance, but like trusted guys that make the decision quicker, make the decision earlier. And I think Potter has to do that as well. You know what I mean? Sorry, why am I saying Potter? Sorry. Potter, whoever comes in, the next manager has to make sure it's not a situation where it's, I don't get twisted. I'm not saying get Bellingham or get Kane and throw them away, or Foden or whoever, anyone's name, Stones, Maguire, whoever. I'm not saying throw them away, but don't do what we've just recently. We tried to basically say, Jude, you're the golden boy. You are the one. England have done that too many times over the years. We did it with Wayne Rooney. We did it with Michael Owen. Did it to David Beckham. Did it to Jude. Harry Kane in Euro 16. England have always had somebody that walks into a tournament, and if they're having a bad tournament, it's like, no. You're playing every single 90. And next thing you know, they're out of the tournament. The next manager just has to make sure it's a team
just make bold
thing.
Decisions, man.
It's a team thing. That's the thing. Like, eradicate the whole noise around the PR of this and everyone's forcing you to play this person. The next manager just has to be like, listen, England's a nation. We're a team. Look at other nations. Unless you're the level of Messi, Zidane, R9, we're not building around no player. It's a nation.
And even those guys, it was years later.
It just comes down to
after they had that credit in the back.
Messi had to pay
England
to put him
like,
up for a bit.
You got the first touch.
Yeah.
Brother, take the number 10. Here you go.
I feel like at international level, as we're saying, it's not like week in, week out football. You have to have the camp right. You have to have the feeling right. But again, the manager is supposed to be the be-all, end-all, make bold decisions. Like, you look at Spain, everyone was like, your man might be a bit young. No, the manager said, listen, I know what I'm seeing here. He can do a job. Olmo, you might have to chill for a bit, but there's going to come a time where I'm going to ring your phone and you better be ready, Ruiz.
Yeah.
You come in, and everyone's like, why is he starting? But it's because he's seen something and goes, okay, I'm going to put my name against this and do it. Sometimes you can't allow it to sort of just boil down to the names and the players, because at the end of the day, you'll be out of a job. And I think, whoever comes in has to have the ability to make bold decisions, because we have a history of managers just not doing it.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah,
and
go through every single England manager.
And it's funny because I actually think...
Golden generation?
Yeah, no, I actually think going up until this tournament, I actually think Gareth Southgate was pretty good
at making bold decisions.
At making decisions where every fan's like, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Like, why is this person not playing? And I think he did it up until this tournament where it was like, bro, Kane clearly needed to be dropped. Yeah. Bro, Foden clearly needed to be dropped. Kyle Walker. And he just said, nah, I'm sticking with this. And in the end, especially when Cole Palmer started making good cameo and scoring the fight, it started looking like egg on face. Yeah. Now we look back and we're like, what if? What if? Yeah. I just think in the last hurdle, Southgate just, I don't know, he just done what the old managers would have done, Sven and stuff like that. So
man, it is what it is, man. Speaking of managers, players, one of the things, I don't know if it's one of our tweets of the week actually, so I don't want to rain on your parade for it, but there's been interesting developments with the Premier League coming back, discussions about how to make it more interesting, and there's a few things that they want to introduce for all teams to participate in to increase entertainment value. Have you got? Is it one of the tweets of the week?
Yeah, we did actually have it as one of the tweets of the week. But actually, let's get into it because that is actually here it is. So 3 new initiatives to be introduced to improve the matchday coverage. You've got interviews for players who are subbed off, halftime interviews with a player or a coach, could be the assistant, and then dressing room broadcasts after the game. So essentially, what we're getting is almost NBA-fication access. The Amerification of our beautiful game is actually happening. And listen, obviously, I want to know you guys' thoughts on it, but are you mad at it?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Because for me, I'm not mad at it, but I think there's one key important part missing from.
I'm here for it.
Referee.
I'm here for it.
Where's the
Thank
referee?
you, Cams. For me, I think it's
Where's the
interesting.
referee?
I'm here for it.
Where's
Yes,
the referee?
I agree.
Hey, it must start when Ten Hag's gone though. I don't want to see. I don't want to see Ten Hag. I don't want to see him at halftime. I don't want to see him at dressing room, bruh.
No. Right when that drama is unfolding, I need to see live coverage.
Because imagine the Liverpool game.
Bro.
Half-time.
Oh my god.
Half-time.
The thing is, it was 1-0 at halftime. It was 6 goals in the second half.
No,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
I'm
And
talking
then
about
you get
the most recent game you guys lost to them.
Mm.
They're interviewing Casemiro.
But you get the halftime chatter, and
Yeah.
then you get the full time
Time
in the
broadcast.
dressing
No,
room.
but did you
after
see?
this-
Apparently, it's managers have to choose one. Is it one a month? There's one a month. It's not.
Is there an
No,
invitation,
it's not
is it?
like it'll be all like dressing room. No, there's one you have to allow basically. So it'll
Right.
either be halftime, it'll either be dressing room, or what's that thing?
for players who are subbed off.
For players who are subbed off, only one will happen.
What,
Right,
per game?
not
Per
all
game?
three.
I don't. It was per month or per game.
So there's a quota basically.
Yeah,
around
it won't be all free. Like it won't be. You see dressing room, team tour, and the player. No, it's like one.
Cool.
I don't know if it's game
So,
week or whatever.
either way,
Finish off your point on referees though, because that's for me. I agree with you.
I think that's the point that is missing from this. I think you're getting more discussion and more chat from the players, from the managers, from the staff, from whoever it is in the background team, but you're not getting more discussions from who we need to actually hear from, and that's the referee.
But when you
And
say
we've-
referee, what do you mean though? You want referees to
I
talk,
want the
or
referees
are you
to be
saying
mic'd
you
up.
want referees to be mic'd up?
I
want
want
referees to
some
be, yeah.
form of communication from the referees. For me, I've always said I think the NFL style, you hear the discussion in VAR room. This is why I'm making a decision. And he even announces it to the state. I always thought that fixes a lot of problems. If you're not going to do that, I've always thought, come and get them after the game. If there is a big decision, it doesn't have to be every game.
Yeah.
But maybe one or two decisions, you come in, you give us the logic behind
Yeah,
the
yeah,
breakdown, how you saw it. We then understand the referee side better. We then get the communication. It all just becomes like all right, we're all talking.
Yeah.
Rather than it still becoming, you're getting more out of the players, the clubs, and
Yeah.
the teams. But then you've got the boys' club over there
Protected.
who actually decide a lot on the games.
Yeah.
When the game, they can scurry off to their little dressing room and just like,
Yeah.
don't talk to nobody. Come on.
Yeah.
So hear this. With all of these things that supposedly wanting to be introduced, I want you guys to envisage like, who do you reckon would give the funniest, or like what would be the best like halftime moment?
Do you know what? I've already thought about this. I think the player subbed off one is going to be interesting, depending on
If they're
how
losing.
that player's performed. For example,
booing.
I would have loved to have seen Cole Palmer when he came off after the 4 goals, was it? Did he
Yeah.
get subbed off that game? I'm sure he did, didn't he?
Towards the end, yeah.
Towards the end, yeah. But I would have loved to hear his reaction. I know he would have given a 2-word response.
Yeah,
but just something cold would have just
Yeah,
come out.
yeah.
Them 2 little
Yeah,
liners, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
after a player's kind of feeling himself.
Yeah.
But then also, a player gets sent off.
Yeah.
Radu Dragusin, 9 minutes
Bruno,
in, Karabag.
Bruno.
Bruno, you get sent
Yeah.
off. We
Back-to-back
we want to
Bruno.
hear from you, brother.
Yeah.
So I think that is the one where I think you're probably going to get the most raw emotion.
Yeah.
I think some of the other ones are going to be a little bit more tactile. And
I wonder if they'll pick. I don't know. It'll be interesting if they're gonna. How would they do? Are they gonna pick moments? Like, will they go to a player who's just been red carded, or will they go to a player who's kicked the bottle and he's been subbed? I think
thing
they'll
is,
avoid that
if
type
you're
of stuff.
not going to do that,
Yeah.
There's no
defeats the whole purpose and
Yeah.
objective of this extra coverage you're getting.
Yeah.
What are you giving me for?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear to the centre back that's played 90 minutes and
Yeah.
done his job.
No, I think-
want the one that caused chaos and there's actually a talking point and discussion to be
Yeah.
had here. That's what we want to talk.
But Fee, I think that's my big point with this. I'm all for it. I feel like when you look at most other international sports, they have things that give entertainment value to fans.
Yeah.
My issue is more so British culture towards things, because it's like you can have all of these tools, but if you don't have the appetite for it to actually land properly, it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point giving players more access to speak if the fan base are not actually ready to actually hear them and let them be themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the Cole Palmer one-liners. I want to see like the man them sort of doing stuff. I don't want to see sort of people feel like they can't be themselves because the increased coverage is people then saying like, oh, what's he doing? What's this? What's that? Like, imagine the
I get what
Chelsea
you
team
mean, yeah.
trying to do stuff and everyone's like, oh, what? Look at these.
Yeah.
They're not going to be themselves.
Do you know, I think the one that'll be received the most well is the halftime thing. The dressing room thing, I think is a bit intrusive. Dressing room should.
one
It'll be good to
I fully
watch,
agree, I can't
but
lie.
dressing rooms, like, bro, we've all played a sport.
Yeah.
Dressing room,
It's a sacred
it's
place.
like it's a sacred place. It's
place.
like you guys, and then you finally enter the world,
Let me
or
ask
you
you-
finally see. But I think the
halftime.
halftime one is good because listen. one, it could even boost reputations of managers. Imagine I'm losing 1-0, right? And you come to me at halftime, yo, Cam, what do you think? How the game going? I'm playing Tottenham. Wow, Maddison, he's having a good game. We need to get closer to him. We need to get tighter. But, we see some opportunities down the left-hand side. Let's say, for example, boom, and we go and win 2-1 through locking up Maddison and scoring 2 down the left-hand side. And I just told everyone that at halftime, I'm a genius.
I think you're
looking. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see
it.
How many times do we watch the NBA, for example? We're talking about Americanization of the sport. Bro, there's times where it's like Luka, for example. Let's say Doc Rivers, he'll be like, Luka's knocking down too many threes, we need to blitz him, blah 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 blah. Second half comes out, guys are blitzing Luka, and all of a sudden the ball is out of his hand, and you're like, okay, he just told us what they're gonna do. We've come back and watched it, and you're like, yo, I feel like
how often do they do that though? Like a lot of the times, them coaches, they will give insight. All the players will do it, but they will also. There's a lot of times when they give generic answers and kind of blase. So that's where I feel football has become very good at. The footballers,
they're just so generic.
They'll give you generic.
But
we're finding it.
What's
tough,
the language?
What's
the language of it? Because is it like you're having a direct interview with the manager, or is it kind of like
it says halftime interview with player or coach?
I can't lie, personally, I don't think it's going to be controversial because it'll sound like I'm just trying to boost like the content world or whatever. But I don't. Some of them journals are going to ask dead questions.
But Cam, this is exactly what I'm saying.
They need to start looking for proper personalities.
I'll give you a prime. I'll give you a prime example. They need to start looking for
proper personalities.
In the international break, they asked Nani Madueke for like 7 minutes about Cole Palmer. You're not getting anything from that. Like, whereas if you actually understand profiles, understand what people are like, you can actually get something. I know it's not the same, but remember from the World Cup when Saudi Arabia beat Argentina and I showed Hervé Renard's talk and whatnot. Like, seeing stuff like that will get me gassed.
But would you? No, because if you're losing. Yeah. You're losing.
Yeah.
You now see a dressing room insight of Maresca.
Yeah.
Maresca, let's go back actually.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho and Ferguson has done this numerous times, but I'll say a Jose Mourinho one because I think John Terry told the story.
Yeah.
They were losing one game. Yeah. Jose Mourinho walked in and just did this.
Yep.
Looked at everyone.
Yep.
Didn't Pep do that recently?
No. He did that whole.
Yeah.
No,
Jose walked in, said nothing.
Walked in, said nothing,
and walked out. And Chelsea went to win.
Now, if we went and watched that on TV, we're gonna start saying everyone's gonna start dissing. You got to leave the dressing room for the dressing room. If we walked in and then the manager's just sitting there like this,
no, what? I don't think
everyone's gonna be like, wait, what the? We're gonna be watching for 15 minutes. What the hell is going on?
No.
This guy's a quitter.
It won't be 50. It won't be 50 minutes.
I think
blue clear leg. Get rid of this guy.
I don't think it will be like the team talks we'll be watching in the dressing room.
It'll be like
I think it's like the NBA
just
players
them getting ready in that.
Them getting ready or whatever, and then they might grab one of the players in the corner or whatever and say, "Yeah, how are you feeling after the game or whatever."
It's a sacred. It's
some of the stuff that people say.
I agree.
Like, they might say something like, I don't know. Let's say, for example, you get in there, and Noni's having a great game, and it's Man United. Yeah. Rashford might say something like, "Bro, boys, he's fucking shit, man. Come on, how you guys letting him cook you?"
But that's football. That's football.
But you can't broadcast that.
I know. But
now, next thing you know, Marcus Rashford calls Noni Madueke.
Cam, what you're saying, Cam, what you're saying though is what speaks to the culture not being ready. Like in American sports, it would be almost normal to have stuff like that. I don't think the UK is ready for that. So I was saying you can bring.
But they don't even do that in American sports. No, but what I'm saying though, you can't go into the dressing room.
No, I'm not saying go into the dressing room, but I'm saying that sort of discourse of knowing that like players are going to be like, listen, like these men are not good at it. It's normal. It's the second you put a microscope on things within Britain, it reveals how ready that things are.
I fully agree with that. You. The Britain is not ready for.
It's not.
We're not that kind of wired, but that's why I think that I do think the manager thing will be well received. I just don't know about the halftime.
For me, do you know
they need to find a way of doing that properly.
I think like one game a week, you should like mic up a player.
That'd be cool.
No, not mic up.
Or warm ups in that.
The Tielemans body cam, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one.
That's what I'm saying. So
bro,
but you after the mic.
After that Tielemans cam day, I stopped seeing the Tielemans running back. That was the RIP of that meme.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
You found a new level of respect.
It's almost like a tactical cam where it's like it's gonna throw down to, I don't know, like Maddison during like the North London derby, and you're just seeing him like, where's that? We're better.
Boys are getting cooked, innit?
Like, at least them are cooked. Like, it's a real perspective, because sometimes when you've got pundits, they're not actually because they're not within the game. They can't give you that real perspective. So I think something like that would work.
I do think one day, like how you were talking about the body cam thing, I do think maybe if it's in 20 years, I think that will come and play one day, and it's going to help tactically. For example, if Maddison was to give a talk, they would already had that data up there where he could be like, well, if you see that, like, when I got the ball here, he's always I think football will get to that one day.
Like, imagine
I think that was a test run for us in the next couple of years.
Because even randomly, like, again, going to the, like, City Arsenal game, like, you know, the whole Calafiori thing, when they show the goal, it's always going to be like drone footage, side footage, like the footage, like the POV footage of him running and stuff. Like, you'd be like, rah, this looks mad.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I think stuff like that would be dope.
Yeah, with all this, I do think, look, I think we're in the world of technology now where content is everything. Listen, we're all for more access as long as it's beneficial. That's all it is for me. We don't need extra fluff, if that makes sense. If all of these halftime interviews are going to be blasé, generic stuff, scrap it. If the full time behind the scenes is too invasive, in my opinion, on the team's kind of dressing room, scrap it. So that's the thing for me. And also, I still said the referees. We need to get that discussion in there somewhere.
I think it could help the match day experience. I can't lie. I think I wouldn't say that watching football is not boring or anything, but like, you know, it could add a little something. It could add a little change. Like, people are always afraid of change, man. Like,
here's the thing:
a little bit of change. It's not too bad.
Kind of the product we have or whatever, but then they'll see a clip of CBS Sports Galaza and they'll be like, "Oh my god, these guys do it so proper. Why don't we have this?" And it's little things like this. Listen, you have to trial and error it. I get it, but just be kind of smart about it.
100%.
Some will deem this utter woke nonsense. That's what they will do. And in light of that, there's something I wanted to discuss. I've been wanting to do this for a long time here. It's something that's an FCM staple. Real men. We pride ourselves on it. We try to live in a real men code. And I think it's finally time that we do it. Real men. All time 11.
Ooh. I like that.
Oh, do they have to have quality? They have to have quality as well. Is there like
a
balance between quality and or just?
Let's do that. Yes.
You can just have a
Cam, I'll let you open the floor.
What is the
definition of real men?
Literally.
Let's define that for those who may not be.
Oh, you see, the thing is, real men's a way of life. It's like you can't just define it. No, you can't just.
So therefore, this team has to be built on principles of a way of life.
You can't just be real. You can't just define real men. You know what I mean? There could be. Bro, the thing is, a lot of people sometimes think, real men just means being a hard madman.
Yes,
it doesn't mean
absolutely
that. Bro,
not.
If you walk down the street right now, you see a homeless man and you give him some money,
that's
real men.
That's real men.
Do you know what I mean? If you fly into a tackle, that's real men.
And
you didn't bottle that 50-50,
that's real
men. There's many different things about real men. Facts. You get where I'm coming from? Facts. So I think people just seem to think they're just thugs that are just on the loose.
That's what you've turned it into.
No. That's part of
it.
If
you're looking after your family,
absolutely,
that's real men, bro.
I'm so glad
you send money back home.
That's real men.
I'm so glad you clarified this, because I've always said that is people just think it's just being a hard-nosed madman, basically, and I'm like, that's not it. It's the essence.
If you have good manners,
essence of it. You need to understand it.
It's the essence.
If you leave a tip.
Real men. Like, bro, it's just, bro, there's a lot of things about it, but let's
try and build this 11. I'm looking forward to this.
Goalkeepers.
Let's go for let's list out some names that could be like nominations for real men.
I'll go Peter Schmeichel.
I was gonna say Peter Schmeichel, real
Oliver Kahn.
Yeah, Kahn to go.
For me, that's my pick as well. If I'm talking, you're talking leader of men. When you talk about the madman aspect, like. Oh, bro, just for what he done for Germany, Bayern Munich, for me, I just think exudes that aura of commanding his box. Things that nowadays goalkeepers so often get questioned with, command your area, come on.
Yeah.
You was fearful of Kahn when you walked into his box. I'd go Oliver Kahn. Those are the two that
I've got
straight away came to mind for me.
Van der Sar is a real man.
Kind of the calming presence.
He's like the 007 real men sort of.
I'm gonna go. I'll go. Kahn is a good one because he's mad. But you know what? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go Schmeichel. I'm going to go Schmeichel. So you got the final call there. I'm going to go Schmeichel due to what he did.
Let us know in the comments as well if you guys have any picks that we have.
Do you know why I've gone him? Do you know how much? You remember they won the Euros in '92, right?
Yeah.
Imagine going into the Euros '92 with the leader of your nation, Laudrup. He didn't go. He didn't travel, and you gotta dig deep as Denmark to win a national tournament. International tournament, sorry. I think Peter Schmeichel, man.
Do you know I'm going Schmeichel?
And also, don't forget, he scored some goals as well.
No, but I'm away
he
from
scored some goals.
We all know he's real men. To then raise another real man that won a Premier League.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about real, like principles of what he raised his son as, his son ran into fire to try and save his own, that tragically was passing. Like real men just exudes beyond him. It's like he's a real raiser of men.
Yeah.
Forefather of men.
That's a good legacy.
You know
Good
the funny thing
bloodline.
is with his as well. I don't know if you've seen the interview with Gary Neville and him on
Overlap.
Yes.
Where he talks about his early life as well. You know, he didn't make it pro till he was 23.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was working in factories.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like real men.
Yeah. I see.
Bro, I'm telling you, when I read his early life, I had like a newfound level of respect.
That is a real.
With Khan, it's definitely more of the madman aspect and that commanding presence that he has.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like the totality, when you're taking the son,
Yeah.
Peter Schmeichel,
a
bro,
good one, man.
has to be in there.
That's a good one.
Cool.
That's a good one.
So Peter
Fairs, you
Schmeichel-
even changed my mind. I can't even lie. I can't
Peter
even lie.
Schmeichel, you are
Fairs,
the first inductee of Real Men FC. Cool.
I can't
Where do you
lie.
go from there?
we got to go back three.
Back three.
I'm not trying to hear fullbacks in this conversation.
Really?
Fullbacks, real
You have to
men.
have 3 centre halves.
Fullbacks are the leftovers in football.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate to say
I agree.
Failed wingers, failed centre backs, failed DMs. Listen, plug the gaps.
Yeah.
But the centre backs is where we have to, and there's too many centre backs,
many.
real men,
That's
for me
true.
to just pick 2.
Yeah, I hear that. That's fine.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
let's go 3.
Yeah.
I think entry number 1.
Sergio
Ramos, baby.
Sergio Ramos.
No, it was coming.
What?
When
Man
we
said
talk
short hair, tick.
Blood,
Long hair, tick.
sweat,
Tattoos, tick.
tears.
Kill the opposition, tick. Gentlemen, tick.
Yeah.
Like when you
Ramos.
talk, like that thing.
No
you talk about where
controversies.
it's not just.
He's
it's,
Ramos.
no. But that thing where you talk about, it's not just about being
off
a
the pitch. You mean? Or
No,
on
off the pitch
oh,
controversy.
yeah. But when you talk about that thing of not just being a madman,
Yeah.
you know, being a family man,
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
leader at your club, bro. This guy is the true essence and that quality that you're saying as well. You want in this team.
Yeah.
He brings that quality.
The clutchness as well. You know that means when we're down and out,
We can depend
and
on
we're
you.
looking for a leader.
To
step
Right, Sergio.
Wait.
That's amazing.
Hey,
That's
Gary,
amazing.
see you, Sergio.
Great trait.
He's not a real man. He's the man of the house. You know, it's always like, this is my house.
Alpha.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. But even,
Okay.
even stuff like, you leave home.
yeah.
Home doesn't like you much. It's like,
And
you're man enough to say, I'm sorry.
I come back.
I come
Sevilla
back.
Yeah,
last
true.
year.
And not only that,
men.
don't forget as well. Yeah, don't forget the him and Messi. They had a lot of hate for each other.
Yeah.
They link up at PSG and
Yeah.
squash
They
it
squash
like real men do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real men. You
Yeah.
argue, you bicker.
100%.
But at the end of the day, it's like we
a greater
got a
mission.
greater mission.
Yeah.
We
Shake
understand.
hands. We move on. That's
Yeah.
that's some real men shit.
Nah, for real.
You know what I mean?
He's,
Alright,
he's,
cool.
a, he's a guaranteed
He's
pick for me.
facts.
All right, so who's the
Next
other
to him,
Who you
I
got?
mean, personally, it can only be his teammate,
Oh.
the podcasting
Pepe.
Pepe. Must put in Pepe. Come on, just retired this year, bro. 40 years old. When we talk about longevity, we saw Euro
Bold by choice.
24 just now. Marcus Thuram, in the form of his life, pitch wide open. I'm
Yeah.
still hunting you down. Champions League. Big games, I am still there. Arsenal, you all saw that this year. 40 years old, they thought they was gonna get him out of here. Not quiet. He has been here time and time again, and he's another one of those. They always looked at him like you're just a madman, hatchet man. But he has shown quality year
Oldest player to
after
play at the
year
Euros,
after
is
year.
it?
Oldest player to play at the Euros.
One of the
I
oldest
don't
player-
know.
oldest outfield player in
Yeah,
Champions League.
oldest outfield player in
Champions
Champions
League,
League. I think
yeah.
not goalkeepers, but honestly, what a career and.
Do you know why I like
It's not bad.
Real
It's good. It's a
men.
good
The
option.
reason I like the Pepe real men is because, as you mentioned, he had to overcome, like, at one point, he was trying to be real men, but it was real boyish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he was
mad kicking,
booting people in the back and that,
He
yeah.
had to grow into a real man. He had to overcome.
Another important trait of being a real man is controlling your anger.
Yes.
A lot of people see the thing is people think it's just about being angry and not.
You have to be able to tame yourself.
You have to be able to control your emotions, bro.
Yes.
That's a big sign, man. Being very emotional is actually the
Not real
opposite.
menace.
It's
not real
very
menace.
actually quite weak. So yeah, man.
Weak-minded.
Yeah.
Facts.
I picked 2 to set.
No, but you know what? Yeah, I think. Okay, wait,
I'm
hold on.
expecting one from
Yeah,
you, and if I
hold on.
don't hear his name,
It depends. My one is Yap Stam.
wow,
That's
wow.
Yap.
Wow. Stand up.
Damn.
Wow. Can we stand up?
Wow.
Can we
You know
stand
what,
up?
Cam? That wasn't even the name I was expecting.
But
I was Nemanja.
oh no. You know what? I always look at Vidic I always look at Stam as just like the upgrade.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know
The
Stam's such a
taller,
good one,
the
yeah?
faster version, the a little bit more brutalish version of Vidic. As much as Vidic was, I love that guy, bro. On my days, yeah. But
One of the best
I just
ever.
think Yap Stam was just that bit better. You know what I mean? And I just look at him and I just think, I just look at what. First of all, the way he came into Man United, won our three trophies, won a treble, got up out of there. Obviously, he did a little situation. Fergie got him out of there. You could think to yourself, Fergie, situation, it could ruin your career. He moved on, went to Milan to form some of the most impressive defenses that we've ever seen. Just his presence. I've seen him before. Man mountain. Do you know what I mean? Well, you know what I like about him most? And this is what I like. On the pitch, madman. Off the pitch, gentleman, bro. Gentle giant. Yeah. Nice, well spoken. Shakes your hand. Speaks to you. Doesn't matter. But on the pitch, he's a madman. That's what I like. And he's dominant. He's an. You know what they say, bro. Like even you hear Gary Neville speak about it. You hear Roy Keane speak about it. Certain people are just kind of like alphas in the room.
Yep.
I think that's what
I'm glad you said that, because for me, a tribute of being real men is that other real men acknowledge you. You know, when it's the overlap, they're all there. They're like, Yap, how have you been? Looking good. It's like they know that
Don't
there's
forget,
someone.
we interviewed Carlton Cole.
I was just about to say,
And Carlton Cole said, yo, when he linked Yap Stam,
that was
forget
the
about
only
it, bro.
time on the pitch he felt fear.
Yeah, like
only time.
Forget about it,
Yap
man.
Stam
So I've got to go Yap
is-
Stam,
and
bro.
That's a fantastic
Look at that
shot.
3. Yap Stam, Pepe, and Ramos.
Let us know in the comments as well who
you
would make
think?
your team.
Hey,
as well.
honorable
That's a
mention,
different-
Marco Materazzi.
Yeah, I
got
knew
to
you were
give
gonna say
him.
that. Nah,
Yo,
we don't fuck-
he's
we
a
don't fuck
real
with-
killer.
We don't fuck with
World
Materazzi
Cup
over
winner.
here, bro.
Hey,
We don't.
World Cup winner.
we
Got
don't-
Zidane
Nah,
out
we
of
don't-
here.
no, Shut up, bro. We don't mess with Materazzi. here,
Hey,
bro.
old type my G. The
You know
Matrix.
what, it's back in the day, but we got a shout out to. Of course, we got a shout out to Maldini. That's why I wanted to lift back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. If we're talking about real men,
is the
Maldini,
oldest. You know-
and let's not forget Baresi, bro. Baresi, 5'9".
Yeah.
Hey.
The linchpin of Milan. I know Maldini kind of took that mantle, but who taught Maldini everything he knows?
He gave
Who
him
gave Maldini
all the
that
recipes.
first anchor? Yeah,
Nuts got
to
all
do
the way
that
back.
at 5'9". Come on,
Nuts got
bro.
all the way back.
That's a lot of man in a small man.
We have to mention
but I
the
don't want to go too.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy.
That was mad.
That was a bit too far. That was a bit too far.
But obviously, the original Rolls Royce defender, Beckenbauer, as well, that's another.
Yeah. All right, let's not go too
That's
far.
I know.
Let's stick
Bro, I was
with
going to say
90s.
Helenio Herrera.
Yeah. Let's stick 90s onwards then.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's like a forefather of real men. Like, the way people speak about him.
Oh, he's one of the greatest football men to ever live.
Exactly.
Hey, I can't lie. Another one.
Go on.
Tony Adams. I gotta say as well.
True,
I think when you talk about
Leader.
especially dealing with the stuff he was dealing with while he was playing as well, afterwards how he's recovered from it. You talk about real men. I think that's real as it gets. Honestly,
100.
and honestly, I don't think Arsenal fans give him enough
Facts.
credit. Like when I hear a lot of the all-time defenders discussions in the Premier League, I rarely hear his name, and I'm like, I think he should be.
You know
he's
what?
got 2 Premier League titles, one of the best defensive units in Premier League
He's
history.
got one of the most key
and
goals
was
in
a
Premier League history,
leader.
You know what people forget, right? Even like, you know how a lot of us talk about the 15 goals that Chelsea conceded. People don't know that they broke the Arsenal record, which was 17 goals, which was a Tony Adams team.
Crazy,
so,
bro.
I mean, that's incredible. But you know what it is? It's the same thing with like Giggs. Well, Giggs kind of played on for a long time, but it's like Cantona and that, like, they get overlooked because that
they're in the
90s
pre-media era.
You need to talk to like the older
generation.
generation because Cantona, for example, if you look at what he did for us, it's crazy that, for example, people just say this person's clear of him, this person's in our all time, and I'm thinking, right, like, Cantona,
it's such a shame some of them played in that 90s era where maybe media and social media wasn't really as active. And now it's like you can have a 6-month purple patch. Yeah, you're the best in the world. It's like, I'm like, bro, Tony Adams. I remember like growing up, I used to look at the Arsenal. I was like, that's a real brother right there.
That's a real man.
So, that at the back and then Henry at the front. Safe, man.
Right, defenders.
Defensive midfielders.
So we're playing two midfielders.
I would say two anchors as well.
So no two wide men. No.
I would say 2 wingers. Like 3-2-3-2.
Okay.
You know the ones.
Does that make sense?
So 3 centre. I'm talking no fullbacks, no wing backs. This is bro. You got 2 defensive mids and 3 real men centre backs. But the fullbacks, man.
All right.
So the 2 DMs.
There's someone that it's 2 DMs though. That changes it for me. There's someone that recently I was thinking about. I was like, this person's a real man. It doesn't get spoken about. Clarence Seedorf is a real man.
You see, you could put him as a contender for the 3 positions in front.
That's a real man that doesn't get spoken about enough, man. Champions League
you have to expand on
bro,
it.
Yeah. The real man after like, Pedro, you can do this. I've got this handled. Kaka, you can do this. I've got this handled. What Inter Milan didn't work, I'll go AC. Madrid, like epitome, strong, cool, poised. That he doesn't actually get spoken of. Maybe he's an honourable mention, but that's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Doesn't. When we talk about real men, we talk about all of the midfielders that show the aggression more so than the ones that were just real.
You know my thing? I've always had a little bit of a gripe with Seedorf. Like the class has always been there, but I've always just felt like he's more of an accessory piece rather than the piece.
But
he's
always
good being next to the real men rather than being the man. Does that make sense? And I do think, I'm not saying he possesses a lot of the traits, but for me in this team, I want to almost put in like
the
undisputed, undeniable guys.
Boy. Keane.
No, that's the
name I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Roy Keane, come on, man.
Do you put Patrick next to him?
I feel like it's
hard
that's
what
I was thinking.
They have to go in together. They have to. They have to
because their stories intertwine.
Exactly.
Do we get to see the level of real menacism?
Menacism.
I can't lie to you.
In Keane, if he didn't have Vieira,
that's where I discovered real menacism.
Yeah, I'm trying to say. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, Roy Keane, the way, come on, man. He was Alex Ferguson on the pitch.
Yeah.
You ain't. I think you'll struggle to see a manager on the pitch the way we saw Roy Keane. We talk about Ramos as captain. We talk about these guys captain. But in terms of actual manager on the pitch, it was Roy Keane. As much as John Terry was an unbelievable leader and stuff, it was still Roman Abramovich. JT had to go and talk to Abramovich a lot of times when he wanted orders to be thrown about. Roy, nah. It's coming straight from the source. You know what I mean? It's coming straight from the source, coming straight from the horse's mouth. So I think Roy Keane's got to be in there. I think just until John Terry broke his record, it was the captain the most Premier League titles. Yeah. I think he's one of the most important figures in Man United history. I just look at him and I think you can't think of what we're talking about without thinking about Roy Keane. And he's still carrying on to be a great pundit as well, man.
You know I
and I met him. He's an absolutely gent. You know what I mean? He's a gent. So
the reason why I love the Roy Keane shout as well is because even if you look at Roy Keane's story, it's like thinking about, I'm missing the Champions League final. That's fine. I'm showing up.
Look at that event.
I'm so real men that
semi-final for me says
come on, imagine knowing you're missing a final
and you give it man of the match.
Come on, man. You see guys, remember when guys got the book, he's like crying. Like, Roy Keane said what?
Everything.
Man,
I wish I could play for Roy Keane, man.
Final, bro.
Listen, do you know when you're so real men, that you look at the real man in the mirror and you go, you're wrong. Bro, man looked
at the Green Goblin.
Bro, he looked at Sir Alex and said, nah, you are wrong. That's why it's like, you are a real man. Yeah. You understand that even though you're working for the boss, there comes a point where you have to say, we have to reason.
I think he's got to be. I think with Vieira, it just kind of goes hand in hand as well.
Vieira.
It's just, when you talk about the quality as well, you want to have in this team as well. I think those two, it's almost underrated that they played in an era where central midfielders actually had to do everything. You weren't a specialist in being a defensive midfielder. You had to be a box. Vieira was just as much dribbling with the ball, getting involved in goals and assists. So I think having those two as well, protecting the legs that they have as well.
You can't.
You don't want to link that back five there. I'm telling you. You trying to bring fullbacks into this?
Forget about it.
Clear it.
Do you know what I love about Vieira as well? Yeah, real men they have the ability to lead trends. How can you make Vapor Rub look mannish? Vapor Rub is for kids, it's for youths. He made Vapor Rub.
It's a medicinal thing.
Yeah, he made it mannish. He said, I'm not gonna slap on my chest. Nah, I feel like they're like you said, because the stories are so interlinked, those two have to go.
Who are some other honourable DM mentions though? Because I think Gennaro Gattuso.
Yeah, he was there. But I feel like for you see
he
him,
is too much
he
more
is
of
a little
the
bit too
madman
emotional.
side.
Yeah,
definitely. I would say
he's too emotional.
And even
too
as
emotional.
a manager, he still had that.
Yeah,
So I
too
was always
emotional.
like, you're real men, but I feel like sometimes is it a
You're-
gimmick?
yeah,
Is it too?
yeah.
It's like you're real men, but sometimes the inner boy in your mind.
Yeah.
It's
intrusive
taken over,
thoughts,
man.
It takes over.
It's taken over. So I
takes
think Makaleli is one. I think Claude Makaleli is one.
Lord.
Very nice,
Classy
very
Claude.
classy
Classy
though,
Claude,
in a different way. Very classy. Just understand. The rest of you guys can do what you need to do.
I'm gonna carry
I'm
the
just
water
gonna
to the best of my
anchor.
ability.
I'm not gonna get any of the praise. I'm not gonna get any of the attention. I'm just gonna do my job. I respect Claude Makaleli massively.
Arturo Vidal?
Ooh, just he's too madman. He's just done a madman thing. He's just done
I'm trying to get some
done-
madman
no,
in
no,
it.
he's
I
just
can't
done a
lie.
madman thing.
Holding mids honorable mentions, yeah.
Yeah, these are holding mids honorable mentions.
I think. I mean, I don't know what. Again, man, we're going. That's too far back. I'll
what's
stick
he
to the
gonna do?
90s. No, I was gonna say like Rude Hullet, for example.
No, that's a great example.
But
It's a great
that's
shout.
80s.
Yeah, it's still a great shout.
I'm gonna slide him in the
No,
top.
no,
I can't lie, you know.
That's 80s. That's
Rude.
80s, though, innit? It's
Oh,
80s.
don't get me started on Rude.
Yeah, I mean, I would have think you.
That's the real Rude.
The thing you would have had a chill.
Uncomfortable.
Thing you would have had an honorable mention in Rijkaard actually because he was really the
real sweeper DM.
the spitting thing is qualified. That's
That's
not
real man.
Nah, it's not.
Hey, it's man got long hair.
Nah.
What two, bro?
Man said hop tour.
Oh,
Hop tour.
Yeah.
Nah, but nah.
Let's move on to the attacking three. The attacking midfield three.
Okay.
Attacking midfield three, so not like another
so it's like
central
two
midfielder.
wingers and a 10.
No,
is what I would say.
Okay,
So
cool.
that means it's only one striker, no? It's not two strikers.
Well, 3-5-2.
yeah.
Yeah, so there'd be two strikers after this.
3.
Three in defense,
Three.
5 across the middle.
Two defensive midfielders and
that's fine.
3 there, and then two strikers.
Yeah, he's right.
Can't you do math?
Oh.
Yeah, he's right.
You ain't played Pro Evolution?
3-5-2.
I'm
3-5-2
bugging.
formation?
He's right. He's
Fair
right.
enough.
He's right.
Anyway, okay.
So let's settle on our Cam, because Cam's it's one of those situations where like
it's a tough one.
you don't often think of real men when you think of like that sort of position, because it's kind of like you don't need to be the real man, you can be the superstar.
Yeah.
So
So
who's-
I think maybe I'm gonna have to go back on what I just said, but I don't think you can get any realer. I don't think you can get any realer of a 10 than Maradona. I just don't think you can.
But then you're going back on.
Yeah, I just went back on what I said.
You got to find someone that's more recent.
Because
You gotta
if
find
you're gonna
someone
say,
that's
I'm
more
gonna say
recent.
rude, bro.
Yeah,
You
fair
got to find
enough,
someone that's
fair
more
enough.
recent.
Okay.
I understand that.
Yeah.
It's
He's
gotta
the
be
birth of it.
Yeah, I don't
90s
think-
and afterwards.
Okay, 90s.
He's the birth of it. That's a great shout, but you got to find someone else. 10 position,
I think Zidane.
honourable. It's the only one. Bro, it's the only one. It's the only one.
To go on and be the manager that he became.
It's the only one.
To go on to be the manager that he became.
the only one.
The way he carried France.
Are you going to put Ronaldinho there? You can't. It has to be Zidane.
No, I was.
No.
The wings will come to the number 10.
gotta
I
be
think
Zidane.
it's got to be Zidane. I'm trying to think of
look at
alternatives.
how-
Do you know what I like in other ways as well? This might be not in a controversial, but in other ways, I do respect the way of Kaká and Ozil in the way they are with their faith.
Yes.
I think that's
real,
important.
man. That's real, man.
Ozil represented for Muslims across the world
Facts.
massively.
Facts.
And the way Kaká did as well for Christianity.
It's real, man.
Both of them did not hide what they were.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at
where on
Ozil
your
and be like
chest?
real
Yeah.
men, but Ozil, you know, spoke
Bro,
out about
you got
all that,
to
you
stand
know
up
what I
for
mean?
things
So,
like that as well against the establishment as well.
yeah.
100%
I
that's
gotta
real.
give
I've
it
got
to
a question
them.
for you.
Was that Donny thingy? And anyway, let me not start getting political.
I've got a question for you. One of your legends
Yeah.
operated in the 10 sometimes.
Mark Hughes.
No.
Oh,
I was thinking about.
hey, Mark Hughes is real men, though.
He wasn't saying that.
real men.
Would you? I was gonna say Cantona, Rooney. Could Rooney fall into that? Could Rooney fall into that? Because if you don't get Rooney in this team,
No,
if
Rooney,
we do
Rooney's
not
on
get
the
Rooney
front
to-
two. Rooney's on the front two. Like,
okay, cool.
I'm sorry.
Because if we do not get Rooney to this team, we'll lock off the shoulder.
We're deciding that right now.
Okay,
So
Rooney-
who's there for the
okay,
10?
go.
Front
Zidane.
two, he's locked.
You're going Zidane 10.
Zidane
or
for me, the
Cantona?
10.
All right, cool. Let's move on.
So
All
Zidane
right.
will locked in.
So, all right,
Zidane
Zidane.
number 10.
Left wing.
See, I do, as much as I like the Ronaldinho shout, I don't think
Ronaldinho
Ronaldinho. I don't look at him and think real men.
man.
I'll be real with you. He's fun.
Yeah,
I'm a fun guy.
He's a showman. Showman.
That's what I look at. If we're talking left wing real men, I mean, honestly, can we really overlook Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, so
can we really? I think
people are going to think about the antics, the Botox.
People are going to look at the aesthetics of it and think, he's not. Trust me. The grind, the hustle, the mentality, the eliteness to never stop wanting to be the best.
Evolve.
You got to understand as well, as a child, moving away from the family. Madeira,
your
island boy.
passing.
Your father passing, still playing on after that, delivering your best years after that. The whole country you play in turning against you after the wink
every
game.
stadium we went to for 2 years.
Every stadium. Went to Madrid. Okay, I'm not wearing the number 7, number 9 for you. When he gets the number 7, becomes the greatest player at that club, at the greatest club in the world. Brother, there is nobody else we can pick left wing.
Going back to United and still saying, listen.
Yes, even that.
Boy, if going to Juventus
and he went there and he exposed the Glazers.
And then starts a whole new trend of Saudi. This is the place to be. Everybody come here.
And now he's in a relentless pursuit for 1,000 goals.
Bro, do you know 904 the other day, was it?
904, yeah.
Do you know I'll give him like real men credentials? It's the fact that, you just mentioned before about showman. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that you see the showman revolutionizing themselves as real men. Because real men, it's either you're born and raised. You're born and raised.
Yeah.
He started as a little,
he looked at himself and said, I need more for myself.
Bro, every person we've named in this team so far did not become real men. They were intrinsically in their DNA. This was part of their fabric. Do you understand?
Yeah.
For me, Cristiano
Ronaldo
Zidane,
was known as the crybaby, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and then you know what? Fairs. That's the good one. All right, right wing.
Right wing. This one might be a controversial one because people similarly like Cristiano might not look at him as real men. But for me, after seeing the documentary recently, yes, it will play a factor.
Say his name.
David Beckham. Ooh. Now, this is one I know you're looking pretty boy, celebrity girlfriend. But when you talk about Cristiano, he was prototype one. He was the most hated by your own country.
That is the point right there. David Beckham was most hated. They had him on crucifixes.
Bro.
They got him for cutting his hair.
And now look at how he's looked at now. The way he's bounced back. Who made the MLS cool? We talk about Saudi he made cool. Who made the MLS cool before it was anything? Like, who was the first guy to buy stocks in a club as a player? Do you see what I'm saying? There's so many trends that he's done. And I'm like, bro, as men in football, you lot owe a lot to Beckham.
And but his family has always been in the public eye.
Always.
Well. And he's done his best as much as he could to protect them.
The way as a family, you haven't seen any child craziness.
No, you haven't.
Maybe, let me know actually, because he has been in maybe 1 or 2 scandals with his wife, but the way he's always kind of kept that image together and kind of still uphold it as like a gentleman, if that makes sense. I'm like, bro, this is how real men react to controversy, being hated, being loved. He's always remained the same. And for someone who is in his position, you would expect that stuff to go to his head. And I'm like, bro, as real men, I like how balanced you've always remained throughout. And that documentary for me highlighted it even more, that he was the same who he was from 16 all the way up until now in his 40s, 50s or whatever.
Man came from East London and still has those East London principles of look after the family, look after the boys. Even small stuff like, we're talking about, modern day football and everything. None of that happens without David Beckham. Yeah. You don't get the metrosexual and look after yourself.
Yeah.
Do your manicure.
He doesn't
look after your hair.
He's not the prototypical. I know.
Yeah. That's real men, bro.
No, but he's got a bit of withdrawal because he's such a pretty boy.
Yeah, but you can't go around being dusty. That's real men stuff.
Is he too pretty boy? Is he too pretty boy for this?
Beckham is it's not even about pretty boy, to be fair, but Beckham's is debatable. It's debatable because
who's some other options then?
Because I mean, if you're talking about like stuff that have been hated as well, like if that's part of it, look what happened with Luis Figo. You know what I mean? Look what he had to endure. Look what he had to endure. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at stuff like that, there's arguments in there. Do you know what I mean? He went to, bro. Who in the right mind can go from from Barcelona to Real Madrid and won the Ballon d'Or?
Having pigs' heads thrown at you.
He
didn't even want to do it.
Great shout.
He didn't want to do it, but he said, you know what? I'm a man.
I'm gonna do it, bro. He's gonna do it. So that was, and I've watched his documentary, which is incredible.
That is
by
an
the way.
incredible one as well. I can't lie to
Incredible
you.
documentary. But there's a few. I mean, right wing is hard, isn't it? Maybe we have to leave that.
Is there modern ones maybe we can throw in there? I'm thinking
modern.
Raheem Sterling.
I mean, is this
trials and
is the
tribulations.
but you lot are talking about childhood
But then you've got to look
issues.
at the character and DNA.
Yeah, but look at Thingy as well. I mean, Messi. I know we're gonna think why, but Messi was a midget.
Leaving Argentina as a kid.
Leaving
having
Argentina,
growth hormones.
He had to get the HGH and to go on to become the GOAT. Can we leave the GOAT out of
a real man conversation?
Do you know what I mean? He dominated world football. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like there's a height requirement. Hey, if we're gonna class as real men, you can't be beneath 5'10", bro. No one in this team beneath 5'10", bro. Come on, man. What we doing here? What? Go.
He's even 5'7". He's under what he's in because he's under the actual average height of the world. There's the world.
Yeah.
The world average height is 5'8". Actually, I think Messi's 5'7".
I don't know if that's unfair to discount him on that rule.
It might be a bit unfair.
It might be unfair, but I'm like, yo, if we
I
want...
wouldn't. To be fair, I don't look at me and say real man. I respect his journey. To be fair.
So left we had Ronaldo.
Left, Cristiano Ronaldo for me is locked in. Same with Zidane.
But the way they push themselves, Ronaldo. Would Ronaldo be Ronaldo without Messi? You know what I mean? Would they? Did they
and
push?
Do you know what?
Do we know how we put Roy Keane and Vieira there? Do they? Are they married? Are they tied to the hip?
I think the maybe the thing with where Messi is a little bit handicapped in this is there isn't as much emotion. You don't see him.
Argentina though.
Now
won the World Cup after. Remember, Argentina. They start saying you ain't Maradona, bro.
You know what?
You ain't Maradona.
Hold on.
You ain't Maradona. Remember, he missed penalties in the Copa and he came back. He retired and he came back and said, "Do you know what?
I'm also remembering.
What?
I can't lie to you. This World Cup,
When
the last one went
bro.
just the whole run of the knockout stage. His attitude had just changed.
Yeah.
He had this like
dog
about him where I was like, I ain't seen Messi like this before, bro.
Like
when he knocked Netherlands out, he was don't shake my hands afterwards. I'm here to collect my medal and no one's stopping me. And I was like, wow, I'm so glad to finally see you in this version. Because for so long, as I was saying, it almost seems he's just happy at being great. He doesn't have like the emotional computing of a normal human. So I'm here to be a footballer and that's it.
Yeah.
But even with that, do you know when you speak about Argentina, it's when, again, if you want to know what a real man is, look at how the other men are speaking about. You got the ball coming and saying, I would die for him. I said, yeah, this is a real... He has captivated
I'm like,
them.
he's a real robot.
He's
He's a real robot.
Real alien.
I'm not joking. That's how I look at the Argentina team and I'm like, you were surrounded by real men.
Yeah.
Real alien.
Oh my days. I think I might have it.
Yeah.
Angel Di Maria.
Angel
Di Maria.
I thought
Come on.
I was
Sidekick.
thinking, like, if you got then they're going to start saying Robin,
Yeah.
might say Gareth Bale. Like,
Okay,
those guys are just a little...
yeah. Good footballers.
Yeah, they had real men tendencies, but we need this overarching...
The thing with Di Maria is every big game for
was there,
club
he was there.
or he was the
He's
man
big bro,
who
he's
stood
not real
up. When
man.
we talk
He's
about
big bro.
when we talk about
big
guys
bro.
who rise in the big occasion, like man, Di Maria is one I always look at. I'm like, I don't feel like you get the dues you deserve.
I wouldn't put him in that conversation though.
If we want to put this to bed,
Where did Rivaldo play?
Yeah, he played
nah.
After
From
he did the
Dakar.
Turkey,
Get out my face. Get out my face, Rivaldo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, listen,
true.
if we want to put it to rest for argument's sake, I'm happy to put Messi in there because of the longevity, the story, how he got his last World Cup as well. I think
You know what? Let's do
We
this.
could.
Social post. We let the people vote. We let the people vote on who is the real men
right winger. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'd
Because
actually be
there's
curious.
a lot of... There's not like an overarching
standout. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
The two strikers.
Two strikers.
I think we said Wayne Rooney.
Can we give a round of applause for Wayne Rooney, please?
I can't lie to you.
What's up?
As real as they get.
100%.
You've touched him with those hands, of course.
Of course.
Do you even have to speak about it? Yeah, come on, man. You haven't... in fact,
I
let's
think
speak-
I think Wayne goes without saying. I think coming as a 16-year-old boy to dump on that great Arsenal team, by the way, amazing Arsenal team, scored screamer to then go on and carry his nation. Then in that same summer, signed for Manchester United to go on to be the club's greatest ever scorer. to have the humility to say, do you know what? I can bag 30 a season, but do you know what? Ronaldo, you're the man. You know, I'm gonna play this role which I want to play for the betterment of the team. Always put the team first. Somebody that went into Fergie's office and demanded, yo, where's the signing? Somebody that wasn't afraid to do that. You know what I mean? Somebody that, as an 18-year-old, was playing pranks on Roy Keane. Bro, this wasn't a normal guy. You know what I mean? Yes, he's had his scandals, which we don't approve. We don't approve of, you know what I mean, of his off the pitch.
But we always say that real men have them tendencies.
You have to overcome. So I think Rooney goes without saying. I think who's the next one though? I think it's got to be. You said Jamie Vardy, yeah? Oh.
Ooh. Expand, please. Expand, because I want to hear the different suggestions before we lock one in.
See, with Jamie Vardy, you're talking about someone that we shouldn't know Jamie Vardy's story. We shouldn't know his story. Jamie Vardy shouldn't be a name that we know of.
Yeah.
This guy wanted to go and play for Magaluf FC, but thought, you know what, I can be greater.
Yeah.
Signed for £1 million from wherever it was. You then get to a situation where you're scoring goals and everyone's like, oh, it's cute. To become one of the pinnacle names in Premier League history.
Yeah.
From playing non-league at what age? To be the epitome of a shithouse. Like, you can't think of shithouse and not think of Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
Facts. To be this individual that you can speak of all of these talented footballers that may have more talent, but you're like, you know what? Jamie Vardy made me feel something.
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy broke records. Jamie Vardy, oh my gosh, he's coming back to the Premier League. I can't wait. He is real. And the thing is, yeah, we always talk about overcoming, yeah. I don't know if this is politically correct to say, yeah, but this is someone that has the chav title to him. Even with that, even with all of the things that should hold him back, people are like, you know what? Jamie Vardy's a man.
Yeah.
Knows how to handle.
No, listen, I think that's great.
Jamie Vardy is a
I think it's a good one, but I've got a different.
I don't think.
Are you gonna say
it's honorable mention?
Are you gonna say Rooney's teammate Duncan Ferguson?
No.
Hey, he deserves honorable mention.
He's on a Vidal level. He's on the Vinnie Jones, the Vidals, and them and there.
Nah. Who are you gonna go? Because I've got one as well.
Zlatan. I've got to go Zlatan.
See, this is where I'm torn.
I've got to go Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
That's what I'm torn.
What? Yo, you know what?
I've read his book, and I can't lie. One of the most interesting personalities, and especially if you hear about his upcoming as well.
Yeah.
A key factor is self-belief. You have to believe in yourself if you want to get to the top. Zlatan has never been afraid of that. Zlatan went to Arsenal to do a trial, and in Wenger or something said, you know, we'll shout you.
Yeah.
Zlatan said, if I don't get signed today,
I'm not coming
back to Arsenal. They said they couldn't make the decision. He never came back. Zlatan, I think, is one of the players. If you look at everywhere he's been, I think every fan base like him. Is Zlatan hated at any fan base? Like, genuinely hated? And considering the teams he's played for, this guy has played for Milan, Juventus, and Inter.
All three big Italian sides.
And I don't think anyone has a deep hate for him.
No.
The guy has gone to so many big teams and made an impact. We still love him at Manchester United, PSG. Barcelona maybe was up and down, but he had one season there. But when you look at what he's done, his self-belief, and look, let's be honest, just the way he is. He's Zlatan.
The aura he carries himself with.
Yo, he can slump most footballers too. Yo, he's got a fighting background. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm looking at Zlatan. I look at the self-belief it took to get where he is, the talent, of course. And I just think the fact that he's gone to so many big teams, traveled the world, he's never been afraid, broken records. I've got to go.
I think that's a great shout.
I think that's a great shout.
The thing with Zlatan though is there is and again, it's not his fault. But with all of the real men we've mentioned in this so far, yeah, they never felt like there was a gimmickness about them.
It's because he speaks in third person.
No. I would agree with that, but I think Zlatan has always been that.
No, but that's
the thing. I don't. I would say it's a gimmick, but he's been like this for so long. I'm like, you're actually that arrogant that you believe all the things you say, 100%. If that makes sense.
Even like with like, you can look up Roy telling stories today. Yeah. Kind of like. With that, I don't remember what point it was, but
I mean, could you not say like Roy Keane is playing the miserable guy gimmick? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But it's still you still.
Do you know what Zlatan after a while? You know what happened?
I know what you're talking about.
Zlatan matured, right, as a person.
Yeah.
But he used to genuinely be like that. He matured as a person, got to a certain age, and kind of just started messing around with everyone.
Yeah.
Lions don't.
Yeah. Like he started playing into the character.
He started playing to it, but he's always been that. You know what I mean? It's like. It's like The Rock. You know what I mean? The Rock has always been it, but now it's a super gimmick. Obviously, I know it's acting, but it's a super gimmick. I don't know. I don't know. I get what you're saying.
I know what you're saying.
It's not minus points, but it's just one of those things where it's
Here's
like...
one, though, we haven't mentioned. Didier Drogba. When you talk about... they say he broke up a war. You know what I mean? When you talk about the late bloomer, when you talk about a leader in that Chelsea dressing room, amongst the leaders that were there as well, stepping up in big moments, you talk about it. Winning for your country. Like,
he never won for his country.
Oh, no.
He didn't
they
win.
were the great Ivory
never
Coast
won
side.
it.
Never won
Yeah,
it.
no.
And listen, breaking up that
crazy.
war is a title anyway. But I just think when we talk about the essence of being real men, I feel like Drogba
Whenever it's a cup
exemplifies
final,
like, how he carried himself on the pitch, how he played, everything about it. He never shortchanged you on effort.
When a
he
hero
overcame as well.
Bro,
we talk about overcoming. Like, all of the whole...
boldness.
He dives too much, this and that. He dives too much. He said,
perm
no
is,
worries.
the
I'll show you
perm
over
kind of
there.
brings it down.
What you said, the hair.
Tax.
You said hair tax.
So Europeans are allowed to have long hair.
Yeah.
Europeans are allowed to have long hair.
Embrace your course 4C hair, please. Embrace your 4C.
That's why he's bold now.
No, Didier Drogba.
No.
Real
Yeah.
man. Do you know someone that...
That's a good one, to be fair.
Do you know...
No, but who we actually picking?
I feel like...
I don't wanna throw too many names
I feel
out
like Henry gets overlooked in real men.
No.
I feel like
Henry's classy.
I feel he gets overlooked.
You know, oozing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Henry in there.
But I don't have him in. Like, I don't think of real men and think of Henry.
No.
I feel like
When I think of real men,
men,
Drogba does come to mind. Zlatan does come to mind. Rooney does come to mind. Explain then.
I feel like because like
Henry, no.
in the terms that because obviously you know the whole Vavavoom is cool and whatnot, but like in terms of like the arrogance and sort of like there is no defeat in me. Even the way he talks about his relationship with his father and it's like listen, like you don't understand. I had to win by any cost. That side always gets overlooked. And I hear what you're saying, but I feel like his
thing. Yeah,
I feel like that.
I wouldn't have it though. I wouldn't have it.
Not with these guys that we've talked about. Like obviously you can't put him above
I'd
Drogba's
have him
real
as an
men.
honourable mention.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who are all of these mentions because Rooney's a shoo-in. It's like who goes next.
So right now we've had Zlatan, we've got Drogba,
You said Vardy as well.
and you said Vardy. I actually think all three of those are great picks. Like I wouldn't be mad at any. Vardy, I can understand for the pure shithousery, for the deviant that he is.
Yeah.
Bro, guys still drinking Red Bulls and banging sniffs before a Premier League game. So there's an aspect to that where you have to respect it.
Do you know what?
Zlatan, I love the whole
I'm a lion.
the gimmick.
Yeah.
I can't even lie
I'm a
to you, as
lion.
you said.
Yeah.
And then Drogba, I just think it's just
Yeah.
he is men.
Africa.
Big,
You see-
strong
Listen, I won't lie.
men.
I'll tell you what. I'm going
black
Drogba.
players we got in
I'm
here.
going Drogba. You know I'm going Drogba. Yeah. Obviously I went out to AFCON. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro. I kid you not. Yeah. When he walked into the stadium, bro, I thought the ground was going to eat us up. Bro, they didn't react like that to the prime minister, bro. He is the king of his country. How many people in this list are the king of their nation?
I agree, but I think we may have forgotten one more.
In what position?
Same African striker, Samuel Eto'o.
So, yeah.
Nah, Samuel Eto'o's not real.
Samuel Eto'o, nah?
Eto'o, he
Eto'o's not
spills
real
down
man.
too much. He's
Samuel
a bit
Eto'o's not real
emotional.
man.
Gossip girl,
Yeah,
gossip
yeah,
girl.
yeah,
Yeah.
Eto'o's a bit
Gossip
emotional
girl tax.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Eto'o seemed the type that like if something's not going, you know that man that like. I don't know. We're all playing football and he's not getting the ball. He'll just pick up the ball and go home.
Strops.
Yeah,
Samuel
he throws
Eto'o
strops, man. He throws
is
strops.
his African uncle that stayed too long in Europe.
Yeah.
Some of his tendencies are not real manish anymore.
Now here, I would go final pick. If I'm picking one, I'd go Drogba.
I'm going Drogba, man. Honestly, like, because having seen it,
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, Vardy is an amazing honorable mention, but you see Drogba, yeah, just like, bro, man, I came to your backyard Champions League final. I'm taking that moment. Arsenal, I'm taking that moment.
Yeah.
Oh no, Didier Drogba's a
Drogba's
man.
a good
That's
one,
a
to be
man.
fair. Drogba's a good
That's
one.
a- that's
I don't
a
mind Drogba,
man.
to be fair.
Yeah. You
Drogba,
going Drogba?
I don't mind Drogba. I don't mind
man.
Drogba.
Front two of Drogba, Rooney.
I'm sure we've left out loads.
100%.
Bro, yeah,
There's-
please
there's
let us
let
know,
us know in the chat.
Listen, man.
There's
us
some.
know
I
in the
mean,
chat.
imagine that there's some people. I'm not sure who it was. There's some players that have like fled wars and become great players.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think about some people's
Even if there's some
upbringings.
interesting stories,
Stories
some
we
guys
don't
who we
know.
don't know, please let us know
Let
in
us
the
know,
comments.
please.
There's some crazy. All right, so who's the manager?
I think
Sean Dyche.
I think it's got to be between Jose.
It is Jose. It's Jose. There's no one else.
Sir Alex.
It's Jose.
For me,
Is it Jose over
me,
Sir Alex?
Yeah,
Do you know-
I'll be real. I would have gone Sir Alex.
Jose is a bit of a
would've
stropper.
gone Sir
He
Alex,
throws a
yeah.
bit too
No,
many
but
strops.
do
I
you-
can't lie.
Do you know what?
Those a bit too many.
Do you
When
know-
you talk about keeping your emotions in check, bro, I'm
I
like,
think
yo,
it's Sir Alex.
Sir Alex oozed the control.
Yeah,
That was
Sir
the
Alex
main thing.
ran the country, bro.
Yeah, bro.
No, Sir Alex was basically prime minister, bro.
Yeah.
He had
He was basically the prime minister
institutions
of
in
the
his
country, bro.
pocket.
I can't
Literally,
lie.
he ran the country, bro.
But let's
He-
think about
I think
Jose, man.
In terms of power of the country, it was literally Fergie and the Queen.
You did say the other day, though, Jose is the president
Bro,
of
that's what I'm
Nigeria.
saying.
Yeah, that's true.
what I'm saying,
That's
the
true, that's
global
true.
appeal.
So
It
he
is.
runs his own country over there too. You know what I mean? We got 2 presidents here.
It's the global appeal. Like,
Yeah, nah,
That's
Jose's
it.
good at
I hear
that,
it.
the reason why you go Fergie is because Fergie still had that gentleman-esque nature by in terms of, even though I'm beefing you, we can go and sit down and have wine.
Yeah.
Wine,
If you don't
yeah.
drink wine, we can have a beer.
And let's not forget, who did Jose have to come and pay respects to?
He had to kiss the ring.
He
had to come kiss the ring, you know what I'm
man. So
saying?
it's got to be big Sir Alex,
Who
bro.
wanted to beef Wenger to impress Fergie?
Fergie,
You know?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling
And
you.
No, it's
Benitez
true.
as well.
Hey,
Like,
I'm
yo.
gonna get these man
Yeah.
out of here. So it's just me and you,
Yeah,
big
but-
boss.
Jose
I know
can be-
Jose,
Let's go have
bro.
some red wine.
Why do you think he wanted the United job so
so
badly?
bad, yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you.
100%,
He can be
100%.
assistant.
Yeah,
He can
yeah,
be
he could be
assistant.
assistant.
He can
man.
be
He can
assistant.
He'll
That's
take
good.
that as well. He former
Yeah.
assistant.
And what you saying? Our chairman's
you want to speak about
Florentino
Wilson?
Perez, yeah? Or Abramovich?
Hey,
It's
if we had to pick a chairman,
It's got to be a bro.
oh, is it Perez?
Perez, man.
Is it Perez?
He's too real, bro. He's too
Nah,
real.
there's
Is
too many
he?
political ties,
No,
man.
Perez is too real.
Roman
bro.
came
That's
in-
Roman's got too many political
Roman-
ties.
Yeah, I can't lie. Your boy Roman, yeah, man. Send him back to Siberia, man. Come on, please. Hey, no.
Roman
I was
came in and said, "I don't like the what you guys have
I
built
can't
here."
lie.
Yeah, but still.
He shook up
can't
the whole
lie.
thing, bro.
Hey,
Nah, but Perez walked.
Khaldun needs to get his juice.
That's a good point.
Khaldun
Yeah.
needs to
Yeah,
get
that's
his
a good point, that's
juice,
a good
bro.
point,
I
yeah.
can't lie.
Perez
Perez is
walked
mad.
in as a banker, investment banker, whatever he was,
Yeah.
and said, "If you guys appoint me, I'm gonna take Luis Figo." And he did it. And he did it.
And then
he-
the next
bro,
round,
and the
he
next
said
round,
Ronaldo.
Cristiano. Now look what he's building now, Mbappe.
And then the next one, he said Mbappe,
bro,
new stadium.
look at what he's built, bro, come on.
Khaldun, I think, definitely needs to get some recognition as
mention.
well, because the way he kind of prepared for life for Pep, I think 4 years in advance, he had
Yeah.
Tiki and all of them, man, yeah.
Built the
and then
foundation,
now,
didn't
you look at the legacy he's set in the Premier League, bro. Records, treble, formidables. It's
Great planning,
ridiculous.
but that's a good businessman.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
a good
real. It's not.
businessman, but-
It's not real.
Do you know what it? No.
Perez is
Do you know what
arrogant.
though? Do you know what I'm laughing at? It's how these 115 charges have come. Pop, 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 untouchable. When he comes out and talks, the conviction
Yeah,
he talks
yeah.
with, I'm like, yo, that's a real smart
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Real men know how
Yeah.
to move correctly, bro.
Yeah.
And he knows how to.
He put his part of the world on the map as well in terms of footballing.
But
sense
let's
as
not
well. I've got to
forget,
give that- I've got to give
bro.
that respect.
Florentino Perez
But I
woke up
I will
one day
say
and said, "Yo,
it is Perez. It is Perez.
yo, we're doing a Super League." And everyone
everyone said
started
yes.
saying, "Yep, we're joining you, brother."
How high
We're
do you want
joining-
us to
how
jump,
We're joining
Florent?
you. We're joining you until UEFA started coming crazy, bro.
No,
Florentino be the world, bro.
Do you know what I've got to say as well?
And then
yeah?
he still won 2 Champions Leagues after that.
Do you know? Do you know
What?
Do you
He
know?
tried to give us a chance.
Do you know when I got new respect for him? Yeah. You know when the new beef with Barcelona kicked off, and then we were putting movie promos.
Bro, talking about where they actually, where their actual funding, bro. Let's not even, listen.
Florentino.
I said this is a
Yeah,
real
serious,
man.
serious
Alright,
stuff.
listen.
But that's our team,
Boy,
man.
that
Let
is
us know.
a real men 11 with manager, assistant manager, chairman. Let us know. And listen, if the real men were ever to play a football match, do you know who's refereeing?
Colina.
Pierre Luigi,
Colina.
the realest of real.
Realist of men.
No, I guess.
Listen, man, let us know what you think about the real men 11. Like we said, it's been a long time coming. We thought we would deliver that us.
So the only position we ain't got is the right winger.
Yeah.
Right
Let us
wing,
know who goes in right wing.
Yeah.
Let us know. We're intrigued. We want to know. And also, let us know like your honourable mentions, interesting stories of real men that have done things within the game.
International
Again,
break,
it's
might as well make
80s
use of it.
again. It's 80s. But he did play in the 90s.
Who?
It was John Barnes. He faced a lot of racism.
I mean, you could say that with Maradona as well, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
He did play 80s,
Yeah,
90s.
yeah.
But he
Was
played
it?
the 94 World Cup.
Hey, Maradona right wing.
Maradona,
It's done.
Yeah, Maradona
Maradona
the right wing.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. What the
It's
f***?
done.
Yeah, Maradona
Hey,
on the right wing.
Don't worry
bro.
about the right wing.
Yeah,
Let me
nah,
say honorable
Maradona,
mentions.
bro. What the
Yeah.
hell, bro?
Hey,
Come on, man.
nah, man. I just
Hey,
remember that. I was like, hold on, Maradona was 90s.
Sorry, let's go for a team.
Leader
for
of
men.
men.
Of men. getting into
So, yeah,
fisticuffs. So
read
our
through team one time.
goalkeeper is Peter Schmeichel.
Schmeichel.
We have a three in defense of Pepe, Sergio Ramos, and Stam. We have two holding midfielders of Roy Keane and Vieira. We then have Ronaldo, Zidane, Diego Maradona. Up top, we have Wayne Rooney.
And Drogba.
Oi, I
My
can't lie to you.
God.
That is a strong team.
Who's skipper?
Aye.
Who's skipper? Who's the skipper? Who's the skipper?
That's an incredible
Who is the
question.
skipper?
Aye, that is actually a good one.
Who is the
Do
skipper?
you know,
there?
do you know the crazy
can't
thing
lie.
is? That's how you know this team is real, man. All 11 could genuinely wear the armband.
All of them have been captains. They're
Who
all
is the
captains.
skipper?
Bro,
Every
there's
single
a-
one.
I'm
No,
giving
is
11
Pepe a captain?
I'm giving
Yes,
11
he is.
armbands, of course.
Of
Portugal.
Porto.
Yeah.
Pepe was in Portugal.
Hey,
captain. That was
Ronaldo on the bench, man. Go chilly,
No,
bro.
that was
Let me
Ronaldo,
run the
that's
field. Come on, man.
Pepe's won armband before though.
I think at Porto.
Yeah,
I
Porto,
don't know.
Porto,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, they've all been captains.
Job was captain internationally.
Yeah, Schmeichel was captain for a while as well.
I don't
Can't
know
lie.
why.
For me, I've got two options. I've
Roy
got
Keane
either-
for me.
Yeah, I've
I
got
can't
Roy.
lie.
I got Roy. I got Maradona. I got Royal Maradona.
Maradona needs to be my Maverick.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
11th.
Don't give them
He's
a
11th for my choice.
Fair enough. Man said 11.
He's at 11th. No.
Okay. All right, Roy.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
someone.
Roy.
Roy.
For
It's
me,
gotta
it's
be
Roy. Roy is the
Like
pick.
when you think of captain, ain't he the first two names you think of?
Yeah,
Like
100%.
in life,
Fact.
captain.
I've
Roy
said
Keane.
best captain in Premier League history.
Yeah,
Fact.
Roy.
If it's not Roy Keane, you have to pick someone that's further back so they can see everything. Just for that reason alone,
Ramos.
like Peter Schmeichel because you can
Yeah.
see everything.
Roy Keane,
But
Roy
Roy
Keane.
Keane has
Yeah.
to be
Skipper, yeah.
skipper. That is the captain,
Yeah.
leader, legend. Oh man, listen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next week. Premier League action will be there. We'll be going live. The time will be
games as well.
revealed. But listen, let us know what you think about Real Men. Listen, if there's other 11s that are synonymous with FCM, let us know. Got to do like a real dog FCM. That way you can get all of your lunatics in.
Yeah.
Get all your lunatics in.
I'll say that for my channel.
Yeah.
actually. Say no more. Say no more.
The League of Shadows 11. Bro.
But listen,
Dark
like,
arts.
share,
Just
subscribe.
matters.
We'll be back soon. We're out.
Peace.